Okay. So you for loop through it, you find the one that has the character at the beginning that has the lowest value, right? But what about if it's a number? A number, where does that fit? And if you're thinking about this and you ask so if I was given that question, the first thing I would ask is, well, what if it's not? If there's something that's not a letter, how should I handle that? Should I consider numbers to be before or after the letters? And what about the cases? What about uppercase A and lowercase a? Where should they fit? And these edge cases, these corner cases, it might seem tedious to go through them all, but it's something they're expecting you to be able to consider. If you're pushing like production level code, then you should have gone through and made sure you're not going to have some crazy bug. What should it do? Maybe it should just throw an error. That's what that's what sometimes, they'll tell you it'll throw an error. Sometimes they'll say, "Oh, you don't need to worry about that. We'll make sure the data is sanitized before it goes into your system." Then you just don't worry about it. But the first thing I would do is ask these follow-up questions of, what are certain things I should consider? And then I would say, okay, so we want to find the one that's earliest in the alphabet, and so then I would say, okay, since it's in an array, I'll go through indexing starting at 0 up until the end, find the one that has the lowest value according to the criteria they gave me. And then I would start writing the code, talking while I go through, like here I'm calling the indexes. Here I'm writing the for loop. Here's a comment about what that's doing. Here's why I chose this particular variable name. Just going through and like talking while I go through, going through as much detail as I can. And then at the end of it, I would say, okay, here's one of the example arrays you gave me. Here's what the code would do. It would skip the first value, or it would take the first value, set that as the lowest. Go to the next one. Oh, that one's lower. It would set it. Next one, it wouldn't change it. Next one, oh, it's at the end. Now we have the minimum. And yeah, that's how I would go through it. First of all, ask some follow-up questions, tell my plan, and then and then ask them interviewer about that plan, execute on the plan, and then check that everything worked.
That's amazing. I think like this looks like a really good approach. What a lot of people do, what I've seen people doing is that like when they get a question without like any follow-up question or like even reading it, they like just start coding it. The instant that they get the question. So what do you think about that? Like the people who just start coding when like they see the question, or like the people who don't do follow-ups and
Yeah, so first thing I would say is some people are absolute geniuses and they'll even get the right answer. But the that's not what the recruiter wants to see. It would be terrible to work with somebody who just doesn't even really go through and check everything and just starts blazing through projects. You don't want to work with that kind of person, do you? You just imagine your manager gave you a task. He doesn't even know what's going on. He just goes through, works on it for a while, and then says, "Oh, my thing, here it is. It's all done." But something changed, or your manager didn't put enough details, and now it's not even what the team needs. It's a terrible person to work with. So you're not doing yourself any favors if you do that. Now, hey, some people are able to do it and even get the right answer, but a lot of those people are rejected anyway.